Good afternoon. My name is Ms. Foster. I'm a foreign language teacher and a graduate student of secondary education at Grand Canyon University. I'm aware that your student was recently referred to receive a special education evaluation. So today I'm going to share some information with you concerning the special education process, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, and the creation of Individualized Education Plans, or IEPs. I will also provide a handout that summarizes my main points. To start out, I will share about parent and student involvement in the IEP process. Here, I really want to emphasize how imperative it is that all involved parties acknowledge the significance of parent participation in their child's IEP process. Not only is it a legal right, it is a key procedural safeguard under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, also known as IDEA. Special educators must contact a student's parents at least 3 times requesting to know ideal dates and times prior to scheduling an IEP meeting without them. Ideally, parents would always want to be involved in the IEP process because they know their child better than any other team member. Thus, their input is vital to assessing their students' skills and developing their goals. In addition to being invited to and actively participating in the IEP meeting, parents have every right to monitor their child's services and support. And if they have concerns, they are encouraged to follow up with the child's teachers or with the school's special education director. Next, I will address the referral process for special education students. At any point in a student's education, a concerned parent may refer their child for special education evaluations. But in addition, teachers and other staff members can also make referrals in an attempt to provide services to students that may need them in a process called Child Find. Prior to evaluation, the school will review any information provided to them by the parent or referring staff member. They will determine if they need to proceed forward with an evaluation. And if an evaluation is completed and the student is approved for service, then you can move forward with the IEP process. The IEP referral must be written in a formal manner and must be signed, dated, and copied, and submitted directly to the student's principal, the student's teacher, or the school psychologist. Now I will address the required evaluation process that must occur prior to the creation of an IEP. When and if a student is approved to move forward with an evaluation post-special education referral, the parent's written consent is required. From there, an expert evaluator assesses the student and will determine if a disability is present. They will also write a report discussing what the child can and cannot do independently. Abilities that are evaluated could include language skills, academics, developmental delays, cognition, and social emotional skills and development. Parent and child can both be present at evaluation, though parents may not be required to at some schools. If a disability is revealed, then the family will have a meeting with reps from the school district. This meeting will decide if the disability is such that special education services are required. Thus, having a disability does not automatically qualify your child to receive services. It has to be decided that the student's needs are extensive enough that they require modifications and special education resources to be successful in the classroom. If at the end of the entire evaluation process, the child is approved for services, the family goes on to an admission, review, and dismissal, or ARD, committee to develop the student's IEP. Moving forward, I will discuss eligibility determination in the state of Oregon. In Oregon, where I work, there are minimum eligibility criteria for 11 different disability categories that include autism, communication disorder, deafblindness, hearing impairment, specific learning disability, mental retardation, orthopedic impairment, other health impairment, serious emotional disturbance, traumatic brain injury, and vision impairment. Eligibility decisions are made by a special education team. This team must include a special educator, a professional or expert knowledgeable about the disability of the student being aided, and a general education teacher. Counselors, psychologists, and administrators are also involved in this process. As stated before, the student may not only have a disability, but their disability must create significant academic need such that they require the additional resources provided by the special education department in order to achieve success. Once the child's eligibility is determined, then an IEP will be written up for them by their team. And as mentioned before, the parent and the student themselves should be included in this process, in that they should be invited to the IEP meeting, they should participate, and they should be in contact with the teachers throughout the school year. Every IEP must contain the child's current level of academic achievement and how functionally they can perform, annual goals that can be concretely measured and how they will be measured, the special education and related services and any supplementary aids that may be provided, the program modifications or supports the student needs, the extent, if any, to which the child will or will not participate with their non-disabled peers, their individual accommodations, and the projected date for the beginning of services, as well as the frequency, location, and duration of these services. Expectations for ongoing communication between the teacher, school, and parent to support the development and achievement of the student are that there should be an open line of communication between the student's parents and their school, including all the student's teachers, both general and special. If a parent feels their child is not receiving the support they need or is struggling in a way the school is not aware of, it is incredibly important for them to reach out. Conversely, if the student is having issues with behavior, comprehension, or staying on top of their classwork, the teacher should also reach out to the parents to see if they have any recommendations or if any additional support can be offered at home. Because teachers and parents are both equally part of the child's IEP team, it is critical they stay on the same page so that together they can find solutions to best serve the student and help them achieve their academic goals. This means consistently and frequently checking in with one another and not just communicating during IEP meetings. Discussion of the ethical responsibilities the teacher has as to uphold the integrity of the professional as part of the IEP process. So as a professional, ethical behavior dictates that we, as educators, respect the dignity of all the students and families that we serve. It also dictates that we respect their privacy and keep their personal information confidential from those that are not directly and legally involved in the process. Lastly, it is important for us to remember that we are committed to aiding all students. Even if a student is difficult for us or their family feels accusatory or unkind, we must always put our best foot forward. We must always attempt to serve each student we come into contact with to the very best of our abilities, even when it is not easy. Thank you so much for your time, and please let me know if you have any additional or clarifying questions. Have a great afternoon.